Chicken.
We are now recording.
Okay.
All right, we are bringing to you a staff team led by Josh Worrell, who is our transportation director. I know this isn't really a transportation issue, but I asked him if he would take it on, and he graciously agreed to update our comprehensive plan, which is real duper updated from, probably when Larry was here. It was
Steve Ferguson.
And I haven't gotten it done.
Steve
so-
Ferguson.
Yeah, we were last working on this
Yeah.
back in like 2011, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, we've taken a couple whacks at it and have been, just haven't gotten it done. So I've asked Josh if he would leave it up. He has two employees with him, if they'll stand up. If they'll stand up.
Just wave to the camera right there.
You know Jenna Matthews and Mary, who's working with us now. Josh is gonna make a presentation. This is the first step. We'd like to get this rascal, I promised council before turkey season, we'd have it adopted. So we're gonna be moving in that direction.
It was the last turkey season you were supposed to have.
Yeah.
10 years ago, yeah, exactly. So,
When is turkey season?
yeah, good. Hey, John.
Okay,
Okay.
so the document before you is the rewrite. There was a 2014 version that was updated by, I believe it was Jennifer Beck. I can't swear to that. I'm pretty sure she was the one that did that though. So we took that 2014 version, which was really just a document that updated some of the demographics. And what we did is we took that and we rewrote it. I shouldn't say rewrote it. We tweaked a lot of it, included a lot of that was in the that document already, and we split some things up. So a couple items to point out that we were working on and working towards. We've updated some of the maps, and those are in the supporting documents, like at the very end of the document itself. We've rewritten the historic business district map, the historic district map, and those are just basically, we took the old black and white version and we got one of our graphic designers who's worked with us in the past named Judy Ellington, and she redid that map. And you can see that it's a black and white map with blue outlining of those districts. Another thing that we're looking at is potentially moving the industrial park as it is now. Currently, that's located right behind the bus shop and Reese Manufacturing. We're looking at possibly moving that, so that's one thing that you guys can be aware of. Some of the things we've added in the document, if you go to page,
Where would you move the industrial park?
we're looking at that. That's like
Okay.
Okay.
an ongoing project.
Okay.
One of the thing, or two of the things we've added on page 4, we've added a Town of Blackstone vision and a Town of Blackstone mission. And we would love your input on those, and any comments that you have on that. As far as the vision and mission of Blackstone, this is just a staff. We got together and we said, these are the things that we feel like are important to the town, and this is what we think the vision and mission should be. So any input and opinion on that would be fantastic. From there, you kind of go into the different sections that were there already. You got land use, population, housing, economy, transportation, community facilities and services. Those were the original sections that were in the 2014 document. And within those, we rewrote some of it. We kept a lot of it. We rewrote some of this, changed some of the language, redid some of the goals, objectives, and policies of each section. And we would love to see if there's anything you guys want to add, take away, change in those sections. Some of the things to point out, in the housing and economy section, we would love to work on getting a community profile created. So like a Blackstone profile, like this is Blackstone, this is why you should come here, live, shop, set up your business and stuff like that. A lot of counties counties and towns have done that. They have a community profile that's part of their economic development plan. We would love to see that done here in Blackstone. In the economy section, we're looking at possibly implementing an incentive plan and creating enterprise zones in the major corridors into town. So those are two things we've included. It's not part of the current plan, so you guys would have to sign off on that, and council would have to sign off on that. But those are two things that we would like to see done in terms of economic development. And those again are an incentive plan for businesses to come and set up, and enterprise zones that if you set up in this zone, you get X, Y, Z. Transportation is pretty basic transportation, what we already are doing, but we're also looking at alternative fuel vehicles. The Blackstone area bus system would love to go into a green project by incorporating zero-emission vehicles in town. The out-of-town ones are kind of tricky because just the distance that they have to travel and the speeds that they have to travel, but we'd love to incorporate zero-emission vehicles within the town of Blackstone. Community facilities and services, those are pretty standard. We've actually separated that section out into two sections. A lot of it was going over like infrastructure items, so we actually created an infrastructure section in the comprehensive plan. You can see that towards the end of the document. It's, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. We kept a lot of it. It's kind of highlighting some of the historic aspects of the town, like the Blackstone College for Girls, the town hall, police department, fire department, stuff like that. Or I'm sorry, not the Blackstone College for Girls. I apologize. That's in the tourism section. But like town hall, police department, fire department. The new sections that we've added that we would love you guys to help us out on, and this will be part of future meetings. We'll be incorporating public opinion and input, are parks and recreation, tourism, and infrastructure. Those are the new sections that we've added. Parks and recreation especially because, and this might be something that kind of, piggybacking off some folks that have been here for a while, like Sea Park and some of the other historical sites, like getting some of the history behind that, some of the features of those parks, like Wigglesworth Sports Complex would be a good one to include in Parks and Recreation. Blackstone Town Square, any other sites like that that we would include in a Parks and Recreation section. And if you notice, we didn't really come up with a lot of goals, objectives, and policies for Parks and Rec just because we don't really know what Blackstone as a community sees as park and recreation, what's important to them, what they want, what they need. So that would be one thing that we will probably be incorporating into the future meetings that we're hosting. Tourism would be another one. We've highlighted some of those things like Schwartz Tavern, the Robert Thomas Carriage Museum, Main Street Blackstone, the Blackstone College for Girls, the Jamestown Oaks, and Fort Pickett. Those are things that we see as a draw for tourism within Blackstone. Infrastructure is pretty straightforward. That's just highlighting some of the plans that the town does, like replacing roadways, water system, sewer system, electric system. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty generic. So those are some of the highlights. Are there any questions up front from you guys? Any comments or concerns with the document that's presented?
Jennifer would like a quilt trail on.
I was just browsing through here and I see one little bleep here needs to be updated in the section where you got Blackstone College for Girls back here. And I know because this was some text I wrote back in 2011. I had recently renamed Blackstone Conference and Retreat Center facility still active today. Talking about UMAC, and that's no longer true. So that needs to be revised.
So some tweaking in that section for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We can definitely do that.
I had the history that you incorporated in that I gave to Jennifer last week. The conclusion of that, I did a little revision there, and you could make it kind of parallel what's up there in the front in the town history about the same subject.
Okay. We can definitely use that as a framework. And like I said, we're planning on some additional meetings in the future. We're planning on hosting 4 public meetings. They're not going to be like advertised or anything like. We'll probably advertise them, but they're going to be hosted and open to the public. So we're hosting 2 in February, so next month, and then 2 in March. And those are designed to split this document up. Instead of taking it all at one whack, we're hoping that we can kind of split it up, and the people who want to go to the thing that they find more important, like for instance, somebody who thinks housing is more important than infrastructure, they can come to that section. It's not going to be like a 10-hour long meeting. We can split that up, and we're going to have a survey handy for each section. My team and I are going to develop those surveys for each section. They'll be passed out, and they'll be used as part of updating the rest of the document. So this is really just a rewrite of what we have, and it's going to be expanded on. We want to encompass as much as we can for the strategic plan of Blackstone. So that's just one thing to take into consideration.
So that meeting, like we discussed, Josh, I think the separating the meetings up, they're not gonna be planning commission meetings, they're
Correct.
gonna be public meetings, so.
Anybody can come to them. So, but there will be one additional planning commission meeting that will happen in early April. That'll be where we present our final draft to you guys, who would then make your recommendation to council. So that would be the final step in y'all's deliberations. But like I said, we would love input. Any help would be fantastic, especially in the tourism section, Parks and Rec, stuff like that.
Looks like y'all are doing a great job.
It looks
We
really
appreciate it. It really
good.
does. Looks
Yeah.
fabulous.
I've never
And-
seen a document as completed. I mean, the last one we
Yeah.
saw was like just bits and pieces.
And getting the input from, our citizens. I'm sure you're gonna get a lot.
We're planning on it, yes, sir.
We hope so. That's
Yeah.
what makes it important.
Hope so. Yeah. Strong effort.
Are you looking for action tonight of any kind, or just more presentation?
We would just love the blessing of proceeding the way we're doing. If you don't have any changes up front that you see, obviously you can email me later if you do find something. I'll make that information available to you guys, but really it's just, if you're liking what we're doing, we're gonna keep on going with it.
Full speed ahead.
All right, perfect.
Good.
How did Jana do with her presentation?
She was impressive,
I had to watch her video.
so impressive.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jennifer, anything else?
Just very briefly, and I promise I won't keep you from your football game any longer. One of the things that we do need to do in this comprehensive plan is look at two issues. One of them would be potential expansion of the town's boundaries in the event there were appropriate projects like Nottaway Commons. That's already part of our agreement with Nottaway County to bring that inside the town. In exchange, we permit them to connect to the town's water and sewer extension and future location of said utilities. I think our growth patterns in town are pretty well known, pretty compact. But what's happening on our periphery, I think, is really as telling as any of it. What's going on at Pickett, at the airport, on the north end of Main Street, all those kinds of things. So I think those will be important topics in our comp plan.
No, nothing's happening with Nottaway Commons right now.
I have not been contacted. I did meet with Chuck and Abby, who are the project managers for FAST. One works for the General Services Administration. She's in charge of construction. And Chuck is more responsible for operations and the State Department side of things. And they were in my office today, and they did indicate that they've been contacted by Nottaway Commons
Okay.
recently, and that I don't think the project will include a hotel, potentially, but I don't know that to be fact. There's been an overall master plan that had a hotel and some retail and possible restaurants, and then a housing component, things like that. And I just don't know if it will have a hotel included in that.
Okay.
The original plan did.
It did, yeah.
That it?
How Mary did.
Personal question. Can you turn that thing off?
Bella did a good
You
job.
wanna adjourn the meeting?
I would like to
We'll
adjourn the
look at
meeting.
Yeah.
So it is at 6:58, you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Hold on 1 second, hold on.